Okay, starting guys. And we are live. Hey everybody, welcome. I'm glad you could make it. Thank you all for being here. Yes, tonight's topic is pressure a force? Well, I just had to bring this up because we're getting this a lot lately, and well, we're going to get down to the crux of the argument. Just want to have a great huge shout out to all my YouTube channel members. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to all my Patreon members. Thank you for you guys and your support, and just thank you to everybody that's financially supporting me through the PayPals and everything. You guys are awesome. I did manage to order my microphone and webcam, great. But the problem is, I think I got a message today saying it's delayed. Could come only the 21st of November, the latest. So let's hold times it comes earlier. So anyway, I got Michael Khan and PJ Cruikshank in the chat. How are you guys doing tonight, guys?
Not bad, Joe.
Doing very well, thank you.
I'm brilliant, I'm cool. Yourself, lads?
Yeah, no, they're doing well. I hear it's nice and cold there by you guys.
Yeah,
oh, absolutely. But
yeah.
It doesn't matter how cold it is, they are still flat, you know. They are still flat, no matter how cold it is, how warm it is. It's flat where I am. Flat.
Yeah, is it earth sciences, PJ?
Absolutely. There's loads of science in what I just said. That's it. Thanks for proving.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you guys. Yeah, I'm glad you could make it. It's. I was missing you guys on the panel here, guys. These last few streams were without you.
It was a good stream you had the other day. It's shame what happened, but I liked that stream. But it's hopefully it comes back. Hopefully.
Yeah, I see it's unbanned now because I had to trim all those parts.
Oh, it is. I didn't realise. Oh, sorry. I
think it came back an hour ago or something, half an hour ago.
Cool. Excellent.
Okay, so guys, tonight the topic is pressure a physical force? Out of 76 votes, yes 16%, no 84%, maybe not sure 0%. I know everybody that said no definitely doesn't understand what pressure is, because it's definitely in physics seen as a physical force. That is what it's defined as. So if you guys really do not understand that, I don't know if there's any hope for you, but we're going to go through it. Mr. Baldycat says nope. Okay, we'll actually go through citation and actual demonstrations and things to show you pressure is seen as a physical force. Igor also says nope. With Michael having a great time. Yeah, we're all having a great time. Let's see if we can start.
I'm having a brilliant time laughing at idiots.
I think we'll first start off with what's that one that Blue Marble asked you. Blue Marble Science asked Michael, every definition ever written says pressure is a force over area. Not a single definition of pressure has ever said pressure equals a force. Prove me wrong. Yeah, pressure doesn't equal a force because pressure is a force. There's a difference. So that's more of a straw man kind of argument thing there, I'd say. Faciality, thank you for coming. Jess Palmer, thank you for being here. Vaynant, great to see you. Mr. Sensible in chat as well. Neon Boots. Rob Keane, thank you for being here. Professor Parks, PhD. Igor Grujic. And a whole other bunch of people. There's a lot of people here. Quinlan, thank you for being here. And PJ and Michael, obviously. And yeah, a whole bunch of other people. I think I also saw Stone Monkey earlier. Blue Marble Science. And Happy Joy. Thank you all for being here. And It Ain't Flat Dummy also just popped in. So yeah. I think let's move on to the first definition, because definitions is the best place to start, I would think. This is just a normal ordinary dictionary definition, but it's the continuous physical force. Remember what I said, you guys? This helps to read. Is pressure a physical force? It's very, very, very strategically written there, because I knew everybody's just going to ignore the physical part. So, is pressure a physical force? Continuous physical force. So you guys are already wrong. Hey Cosmic Surfer, thank you for being here. Yeah, Sensible says, force area is not the same as force. Ask an Inuit. Okay, anyway. Remember I said, Mr. Sensible, physical force. You guys can read this on screen, Michael and PJ? Definitely says physical force, yeah?
Yeah, to me, like a force moves things. Pressure moves things. That's physical force. Simple.
Yeah, I mean, you require a force to have acceleration. That is what pressure is. Pressure is that physical force that causes the acceleration. Because it's the force exerted on or against an object. So in other words, if you take... Okay, let's actually show demonstrations, I think. I think this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea. I'll go on mute.
I'm going to do it this way. I think. Got a champagne. Okay.
Previous lag on YouTube, yeah.
Okay, I'll wait for 2 seconds, maybe for it to catch up. Interesting. Since radiation pressure exists, not sure if that qualifies as a physical force. Radiation pressure is based on radiation. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that's actually a physical force, but we're talking about pressure itself, as in the physical properties of pressure. And yes, pressure is scalar, but it has definitely got a vector to it as well, which I'm going to show you now. You guys can see this on screen now, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I see it's on live top chat. I'm just picking up the live chat. Shout out Godzilla37. Every time I see now, I must go back to live chat. Okay, so this is a champagne bottle, guys, with a cork. What do you think is happening here? Is it getting forced out by the pressure? Was that scalar or was that vector? Was that acceleration due to the pressure, the force, the physical force exerted on the cork? So there we go. First demonstration already showing gas is a physical, pressure is a physical force. How about another one? This is a tire, guys. Oh wow, what happened there? Kind of exploded. Did it actually move that tire? Look what happened there. Did that tire move after it exploded? Let's look at that again. Okay, I'm going to move it back a bit now. Look at this tire, guys. Wow! Look at the force exerted from that onto this carport roof and stuff. You're going to see it now again. I think they're going to move inside now. It's going to show explosion. Did that tire actually move based on the force? Yes, it did. Professor Parks, especially, the velocity of the cork is a vector. The pressure that provided the velocity is not a vector. Pressure, aka force, is the cause of the acceleration. Remember, you require a force to have acceleration. See, they're running away because they know. And poof, what happens? It exploded. It caused an acceleration. Let's listen, guys. Maybe you guys need to listen what a force is.
Force. We hear the usage of this term many times in our day-to-day life.
Yeah, okay. Day-to-day life. I'm just going to mute it a bit, but I'll put it to where the part is where she's actually saying it very well. You can read on screen what's going on. Opening a door, riding a bicycle, or lifting an object, are the most common things. Remember, so force is opening a door, riding a bicycle, lifting an object. La 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 la. Okay.
perform in our daily lives, and
Yeah.
all these require a force.
Require a force. So you require a force to open a door, you require a force to ride a bicycle, require a force to lift an object. Okay.
What is a force?
What is a force,
Consider
guys?
a ball lying on the ground at rest. It's not moving.
Nope.
Suppose this player here wants to pass this ball to his teammate who's standing on the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, remember, it's got the ball. So, now the ball is staying at rest. It's not moving. You need to require, literally put a force to make it accelerate. Remember, F equals ma, guys.
How will he do that? He needs to make this ball move in the direction of his teammate. So he will kick the ball in the direction of his teammate.
Okay, he kicked the ball. Did it have a pressure to move the ball? Hey, Gary Wabenga, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Yeah, it's very simple, guys. He kicked the ball, so he created a force. The pressure caused the acceleration, the force. Remember, he had a surface area. His foot has a surface area. The ball has a surface area. This is three-dimensional reality. Everything has a surface area. It has substance. So you literally require the pressure to have the acceleration. That's why if you say, oh, I got force per unit area, and saying it's not a force, is ignoring that the force is required to move on that surface area. That's the problem. So it's like the same argument you have with your gravity. It's a force, but it's not a force, but it's seen as a force. This is the issue you guys have. It's exactly the same.
When he kicks the ball, we say that he applied a force on the football.
He applied a force, so he applied pressure on the football, guys.
Yes, the kick is nothing but the force he applied on the ball.
Like the pressure is the force applied on the ball.
Now suppose that we have a desk here at point A. A person wants to move this desk from point A to this point B.
Yeah. What's he going to do? Is he going to put pressure on it to move it? He's going to force it to accelerate?
Again, how will he do that?
He'll push it.
Here, he will push the desk towards point B.
Okay, so I guess we get that one. Here's another one, guys. Remember they said a door. So, a door opening. Remember, this is now wind blowing. This is very simple stuff. Wind blowing through an open door. Is that pressure coming through there, guys? Is that wind forcing the paper to move? Yes, it is. Because the wind is coming through. It's literally pushing against the newspaper. So let's see. Let's see what happens when he closes the door. Is the pressure or the force going to force the door open? Jess Palmer, how do you have an almost infinite vacuum next to an atmosphere? You can't, exactly. Hey Owen, yeah, everybody up with it still that says no 79% Owen are the blawless because they don't understand pressure is a physical force. We actually literally showed a definition saying it's a physical force. They don't get this. You know why? They have to throw it away because if they concede it, it means they require containment to have the gas pressure. That's why. Because relative density disequilibrium is pressure based. That's where the force comes from. They don't like that because their gravity does not have a force, but relative density disequilibrium does have a force. It's called pressure. They don't like that. Cosmic Surfer, try Cape Town for wind pressure. It's a real thing. Yeah, Cosmic, I mean, what happens when the wind blows so bad and you go and stand there? I know I like standing by Bloubergstrand, and sometimes the wind gets so bad that you can literally just stand like this at an angle because it's literally pushing against you. It's pushing you backwards. That's why the windsurfing is such awesome there. I mean, that people do kite surfing there all the time because the wind is so great. The force from the pressure of the wind is great. Hey Rachie, good to see you. Pressure is a force per area. You can change the pressure without changing the force. Really weird. What is an almost infinite vacuum? Your space is said to be an almost infinite vacuum because it is expanding out further and further. Sorry guys, everything did work before. Now we know what happens when we start a stream. Ooh, oh yeah, Blue Mobile Science, we're going to get to that still. We're also going to get to Mr. Sensible's awesome video. Because I did invite Mr. Sensible to come and watch this, because this is going to definitely be well worth it. But I think before we get that, let's first listen to what Mr. Jamie Heineman has to say about this. I'm going to just stick the quality down. Maybe that will work better. I hope you guys are all doing well. Professor Parks, PhD. Hey, Rachie. Thank you for not buying into this pressure is a force nonsense. I just told you, it's a physical force, Professor Parks. You cannot call it not a force, because it's a physical force. It's the physical force that actually accelerates the stuff over a given area. I mean, if you have a nail, it has less surface area, it requires less pressure, aka force, to penetrate. Now, if you have a brick, it requires more force, aka more pressure, to be able to do something, because it's got a larger surface area. It's just displacing the force. That's how Archimedes' principle works, remember? Yes, no force, no acceleration. Simple as that, R1. Okay guys, I don't know what the hell, it was all buffered already before the stream even started. This is luck. And it only happens when I stream, guys.
Impact force, joules.
Yeah. Yes. The amount of impact force is very specific. I think it.
Impact force. Would that impact force be pressure, guys? Signal step. First comes the force, then the pressure.
It's,
No. P equals force over area. The force is the pressure. It's the physical force. Signal. Chupa chup. Why you say it doesn't make it right? If pressure needs a container, the pressure is a force. Show the container. We're breathing in now. That means there's a container. Very simple stuff. Yeah, how dare I, Jess Palmer? How dare I?
up to about 100 joules is the threshold of where potential lethality starts.
Yeah.
This thing is designed with the specific projectiles that are engineered to go in here to deliver less than that.
Yeah, okay, but I want to get to the part where he's talking about the laser. Very exciting stuff.
And it'll up the pressure to deliver that same impact to them.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, guys, listen to this very carefully. I'm going to put it louder for you.
Play the maximum that you want to and no more, but then you can aim at somebody further away and it'll up the pressure to deliver that same impact to them.
So up the pressure to what? To cause more force. So the pressure is more of a force to up so that it can go further away, guys. Oh boy, I thought pressure was not a physical force. Let's get back to what we were saying here. Out of 101 votes, is pressure a physical force? Guys, remember, keyword here, physical force. Yes, 21%. No, 78%. Maybe not sure, 1%. No, velocity is not a distance. Remember, acceleration comes after. F equals ma. You know, force requires a mass to accelerate. That's what pressure is. It's the force that accelerates the mass. It's as simple as that, guys. Okay, so we heard it from the guy's mouth. He said, you increase the pressure, therefore he can get the further. That's more force. So before we go on, what do you guys have to say about this, PJ and Michael? Are you guys in?
You know.
Well, I just tried to call you in on YouTube to let you know. My missus called about 5 minutes ago, so I've only just got back in like 2 seconds ago, and you just said, "What do you guys think about this?" So sorry about that. I've just got back on 2 seconds ago, so I haven't got a clue what I think about that Flatzoid, but I will tell you when I watch it. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
But Michael can tell you what he thinks.
I ain't got much to say.
I've got to go queue up YouTube now.
No, it's fine.
Sorry about that.
No
I
stress.
did get the start of it, obviously, but it was only about 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes I was going for.
Yeah. So anyway, I see Mr. Sensible says, nope, snowshoes, boom. That was exactly how I was explaining with the pin and the brick. Let's do another example. Let's take a blunt stick, okay, just like the thickness of my finger or whatever, and then we take a pin, for instance. Does it take more force to attribute that blunt stick to actually penetrate something? Yes, it takes more force, aka takes more pressure, because the surface area is greater, so you need more force, more pressure. That's it. It's as simple as that. So when something has a larger surface area, you just require more force on it to accelerate it. Let's put it this way. Let's say you have a car and it weighs 700 kilograms and you push it. Now it's not moving. Now you get someone to come and help you push. You guys are putting more pressure onto it. You're forcing it more easier with the larger. You understand? So what's happening? The car is moving. It's accelerating. You guys are pushing it. You're giving acceleration. You are putting pressure onto it. Your hands have a surface area. The car has a surface area. It will not accelerate if you're not pushing it. If that's two surfaces do not meet, it will not accelerate. F equals ma. Force is the mass per acceleration, just like the pressure is the force over acceleration. As easy as that. Are cars that flimsy and light inside? I was just giving an example, Signic. And yes, you do get 700 kilogram cars, by the way. Okay. Let's get on to some citations. This is from Biogist.com. Physics, a force. Aristotle famously represented a force as anything that causes an object to undergo unnatural motion. Remember, anything that causes an object. So Isaac Newton was one of the first scientists to discover gravity and force. We'll get to that now. Any kind of force is just a push or a pull. It can be described as a punch or a pull on an object. So remember when I showed you the cork or the door that opens, or like Jamie said, when you add more pressure it can accelerate further. Exactly. Pressure is that force. It's a physical force. Push or pull on an object is considered a force. Push and pull come from the objects interacting with one another. So the hand interacting with the car, yes, the gas interacting with the person, or let's say if the tire exploded, the gas interacting with the surrounding systems. It's the force. That's why you get people that get blown away when a tire blows up. Okay, so in terms like stretch and squeeze can also be used to donate force. You know, like you blow up a balloon, you are blowing up the system of the balloon. Now that balloon is blown up this way. What happens when you add more pressure into the system? It's expanding more. You put more force, more pressure, until it cannot handle the pressure anymore. It explodes. There we go. Pressure is a physical force. Okay, so common use systems. Yeah.
That's right. Can you change lag on YouTube? I'm like way behind. I can't.
It is on live
what
chat.
I'm seeing is not what you were saying.
It's on live chat, yeah. I already did change on live chat.
Is it?
Yeah, because I do this now all the time because of, again, shout out to Godzilla 37.
Not the chat. The lag, like what you were showing on screen, ain't coming up for me till about 5 minutes after.
No, it's
See what I'm doing. I'm having to just keep the volume down on YouTube and keep the volume up on Element. Do you know what I mean? But my lag is probably about 10, 15 seconds, but I can sort of deal with it. Do you know what I mean?
okay. Let me try and see, because I know it's on 60 seconds. It's the lowest I can put it. I'm gonna quickly try and.
Yeah.
So again,
I mean, I can deal with mine, but it sounds like Michael's is lagging way behind.
yeah, could be the internet a bit as well. Let me go studio. So are you guys at least getting what I'm saying so far?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm just not seeing what you're reading out on screen.
At the same time as what you're saying, and I know what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, what you said, it sounds like you're lagging a bit more than me, Michael. But I can deal with where I'm at. It kind of like when the earlier when the tire blew up and moved that whatever it was, the awning or whatever it was on the building, I was still seeing the cork popping off the bottle. Do you know what I mean? But I could kind of deal with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's set to the lowest I could set it. I just want to address this with Rachel quickly. If you can change pressure without changing the force, then it's not the force. But the problem is, you change pressure, it does change the force, because you're applying more force to the system. So you can use the same force but change the area. The force acts over changing the pressure, but the force didn't change. It still changes, Rachie. Remember, if you expanding the area, you're just expanding the force. That's all you're doing. It's still the same force. It's just the area is expanded, so it's spreading out the force, spreading out the pressure. That's all you're doing. That's how Archimedes principle actually works. It's just simply the dispersion of that force or pressure. Mr. Sensible, I just explained to her why it is still the same. You're adding more force just by changing the area. You still got that same amount of force. Let's take another for instance. I got a barrel and it weighs 500 kilograms. I'm pushing up against it. Okay, it's busy moving. They go and put more weights into that barrel that now becomes a ton. I still got the same amount of force I'm pushing, but it's not being able to move because I have to add more pressure to push it. I need to add more force to be able to push it. Now if I get someone else to come and help me and we get it right, we can push it because we've added more pressure. It's just displacement. That's all it is, guys. Force is more of a verb. You see, the thing is, Rachie, that you guys aren't getting, it's called a physical force. Because it's in newtons. SI unit, newtons. So you guys are saying then newtons is not a force. That's what you guys are telling. Because it comes from F equals MA. It's very simple stuff. Can you guys see on the screen now? Okay, I guess you guys can. I'm just going to go on then.
Yes, I can. I can see what's going on at the minute.
Okay.
I'm looking at something that says B nat on it.
I don't know if it's maybe... Let's see. It isn't apply X to an area. Apply same X to double the area. The force is the same, but the pressure has halved. Yes, because you've just... What's the name that Mr. Baldy Cats? Yeah, Mr. Sensible. You simply displaced the pressure. It's still the same amount of force. You've just displaced the pressure. Do you understand? Pressure is the force. Displacing the pressure is not meaning you've displacing the pressure doesn't mean you've halved the force. The force is still the same. The pressure is just displaced. Because it's a larger surface area. It's still a physical force applied to it. Just because you displaced it, you still need, yes, more force required, exactly, Rachie. But it doesn't change the fact that you are not putting a force onto the system. You're just displacing it. Hence, gravity doesn't need to be in the equation. Remember, it's Archimedes' principle we're busy finding. That's the underlying pinnacle of this argument, Rachie. That's why they don't get it. I have a force acting down on me now. If I stand on you with the flat shoes, it won't hurt as much as heels. Yes, I know. Because you added mass, including the inertia. More mass. Simple stuff, but like I said, it's Archimedes' principle. It's just the displacement of the pressure, of the force. This block has a surface area. I think I'm going to need a smaller block. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Okay, let's do this one. This block, it has a surface area. See? There is air hitting on. That's pressure hitting on it. It's force against it. You would agree there's force against this area of the brick? Yes, you'd agree. Now, what happens if I would turn it around and that air is hitting against it, the force, the pressure is hitting it, it has a larger surface area to it. So it's just displacing that force, the pressure on here. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's literally just displacing it. It's still the same amount of force. The pressure has just been displaced because of that. So therefore you will need to add more pressure to the system, more force to be able to move it, because you've displaced over a further area. That's why we say with the pin and that stick or whatever to penetrate, you require more of a force because there's more surface area. That's why it's called a physical force. No, Rachel didn't gain weight when she changed her shoes. No, no one says she gained weight. It's just she changed the surface area. So the pressure changed because you're displacing the pressure. Flat perspective. Mr. Nonsense talking nonsense things about again makes no sense. To squeeze a container to increase pressure inside, you need force. Yes, and you creating a pressure. If I'm squeezing this block, I'm pressing it. I'm causing a pressure. I'm pressing it. That's a force. It's pressure against the block. You see how it's changing shape? That's a pressure. That's a force. Like when I'm taking this and I'm going to throw it, I threw it. I created a force. The pressure, you understand? I had pressure on it. If I don't touch it, there's no pressure. That's what pressure is, a physical force. It's a push or a pull. Get on a scale. Do you weigh more on standing on your toe or standing flat? It's a bit difficult to really stand on your toe because a scale works with a, how can I say, it's like a little, I forgot the name, that's like a bag where it takes the strain of the force being applied, the pressure being applied. Every scale works with pressure. That's what it weighs. Some force but less pressure on a block side. Pressure dropped but force the same. Therefore force is not the same as pressure. Still, the force is the physical pressure. How can I make this? If you have a building, it's a big heavy building, you go and push against it. You obviously do not have enough force to move it because it is displaced over a larger area, the force, and it is much heavier and requires a much greater force to be able to penetrate it. Now if I had to go and take a sledgehammer and hit through the wall, it will break through the wall. Same building, I've just changed the surface area of the force attributed. It's still pressure. It's a physical force. yeah, I don't think they're getting it. It's as simple as pressure equals the force over area. So it's the weight in newtons. You see, it changes it. You see, it's still pressure. Pressure is the force. Same force, different area, different pressure. It's the same force. It's a physical force, guys. What's so hard to understand?
To me, I mean, I've just wrote it in chat as well. I don't need any mathematical equation to help me work out it's a force. It's just logical. Pressure moves things. It moves physical objects. It's a force.
But you see, the thing is, they trying to say
It's not a force.
But you see,
it's just not hard to picture, is it? It's not hard to picture at all. I think a kid would work this out, you know.
They want to say it's not a
force ejected on a surface.
Exactly. They trying to say it's not a force.
I can't be doing arguing with this silliness, like.
But you see,
it's crazy. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
But you see what? Yeah, but you see what I'm saying.
I learned this at school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying.
It's frustrating, isn't it? It's frustrating when it seems so simple, and there's clever people out there just thinking it's something else completely. Like, wow, come on, it's not hard. You know?
Okay.
The majority of these people in chat aren't clever people. They're just pretending to be.
Yeah, but you see.
Well, no.
But you see, guys.
Lack of understanding of what
Michael, can you guys hear me, guys?
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm just saying, but you see, the problem they have is they cannot accept it being the force. Just because it's the same force displaced, note, without gravity, hence the buoyancy doesn't require gravity, it's still a force. There's still a force attributed. Pressure, if you have no pressure, you don't have a force.
No.
They don't understand, because to have acceleration you require the pressure.
See, and that just seems logical. It's like it's a series of events that make it happen. It's just, it's simple.
It's very simple stuff. I mean, you can show me acceleration without pressure being present. You can't.
You can't. No, exactly.
The pressure is simply the physical force applied onto that surface. That's all.
Yeah.
Now they're saying because you have the same force but less pressure because you changed the surface area, therefore it's not a force. It's still the force. You just displaced the energy of that force. You displaced the pressure. The pressure is still the force because it's still touching. It's still attributing energy to it. It's still forcing against the surface.
Why does an helium balloon go up?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, there you go. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, how long have we been arguing that, you know? It's crazy.
They contradict themselves all over. Again, pressure is defined as the physical force exerted on an object. That alone just debunks them. It's simple. The pressure is defined as the physical force exerted on an object. It doesn't say, change the size of the object, therefore it's no more a physical force. It's still a physical force.
Yeah.
And this is why I was laughing when I sit there. Is pressure a physical force? 119 votes, you still get 77% of people saying no, it's not a physical force.
I know, but isn't that poll a little ridiculous? How one-sided that is. That's crazy.
It's because they don't understand the physical part. They don't read physical. They literally just read, is pressure a force? And say, oh no, it can't be a force because you changed the pressure with the area. But they don't see physical. That keyword there is physical for a reason. That's how I put it in there for a reason.
Is it ignorance, pride, or is it both?
Both. I would say both. But you see, that's what I said. If they have to concede this, then they have to concede that they require containment, because remember, pressure is a physical force on a surface, on an area. So they have to say, okay, yes, we have the gas pressure, therefore the pressure is a force exerted on that container wall. That's why they
And
cannot
that
accept it.
container,
They cannot
hence we
accept
need a container for pressure. Exactly.
That's why they can't accept. I mean, a force in a pool, easy. Gas, I mean, pressure, easily a force in a pool.
Aye.
So yeah, blue marble, I don't even need to go through it because
We can still mute. Let's go back to
Kiwi
YouTube.
and Watson was saying the same thing, but yeah. I think I wanted to show, let's first show you guys with Archimedes. This is something I wanted to come to actually show because you guys say that buoyancy requires gravity, which is actually bullshit because Archimedes' principle was long before even the so-called discovery of Newtonian gravity that doesn't even exist anymore because it's now Einsteinian and now being replaced by entropic gravity. So let's just look at a bit of history. When was Archimedes born? 287 BC. How many years is that before Isaac Newton was born, guys? 1643, guys. That is when he was born. Do you understand what a huge time difference that is? Did they have ships before Newton was born? Did those ships work on buoyancy? Simple answer, yes it did. Did they have the G in that equation when they worked out the ships to be buoyant? No, they did not. Ouch. No, Baldy Cats. G is in the equation, but only came out centuries later. Much later than... Yeah, look, says the engineer. The sheep in Scotland are black. No, says the physicist. Some of the sheep in Scotland are black. Mr. Baldy, sensible, what I'm trying to tell you is Archimedes' principle came out many hundreds of years before your beloved gravity. Ships actually worked then based on Archimedes' principle, the displacement of pressure. That's what it is. It's just simply the displacement of pressure. That's why when you guys were actually saying now, oh, but you're changing the pressure, the same force, you are making my argument. You do know that you just validated everything I've said by stating you do not need gravity for the displacement of pressure. That is the whole point of this argument. Hey Godzilla 37, thank you for coming in. Yeah, Phil, prove your globe yet? No, then they cannot prove their globe, Godzilla. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, not one. No, not one. Good to see you. Okay, no pressure in Archimedes' principle. No, oh, really? No pressure in Archimedes' principle. Guys, are you reading this? He says there's no pressure in Archimedes' principle. Then what the hell is a ship doing on water? Archimedes' principle of physics law, buoyancy, discovered by an ancient Greek mathematician and inventor Archimedes, stating that anybody that any body completely or partially submerged in a fluid, gas or liquid, at rest is acted upon by an upward or buoyant force. That would be pressure, genius. Chupalup, that's pressure. Oh my word. The magnitude of which is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body. The volume of displaced fluid is equivalent to the volume of an object fully immersed in the fluid, or that is the fraction of the volume below the surface for the object partially submerged in the liquid. So, the weight of the displaced portion of the fluid is equivalent to the magnitude of the buoyant force, the pressure. Remember, Archimedes, born 287 BC, long before G from Newton was even conceived. born 1643. Again, 287 BC, 1643. That's a long time afterwards. Did they have ships in 287 BC? I think so. Let's actually look, guys, because maybe you don't actually understand. Ships in 287 BC. Let's look at all the ships in 287 BC. 287 BC. Oh, they're showing a ship. Would that be based on the buoyancy without gravity? Yes, they would. Okay, really odd stuff, guys. How about there? Archimedes pulled ship, pulley stock in 287, guys. Remember, that's much earlier, long before the gravity fairy tale. Exactly, face reality. Born long before fairy tale gravity was created. So tell me again, why did they have to put the G into the equation if it was working before? Oh, I know, because they didn't need to. It's based on a religion. That's why. So when they come and say, you require gravity for buoyancy, you just show them this and you laugh in their face. Sorry, Mr. 42. Let's see. Do you think gravity didn't exist before Newton? What the actual... Mr. 42, gravity still doesn't exist. You can't even define what gravity is. And like I said, you guys' whole argument is Archimedes' principle requires the G to work. How do ship builds work? How do ships float without the G? There we go. There's your answer. Much earlier than gravity even came to be conceptualized, it worked. What equation did they use if gravity wasn't even there yet, guys? Maybe take a gander on that. Maybe it was based on pressure. Maybe we can actually search this. I haven't searched this yet. Archimedes principle equal. Let's see if they're actually going to bring it up, because I doubt it. Principle equation. Okay, equation. Before gravity. Just want to see if they're even going to be able to bring it up, because I think all they ever teach everybody these days is, no, gravity has always just been part of it. Archimedes' principle states that the buoyant force on a fluid is equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. Hence why I showed you the block. I can do this again. Got the block. Well, don't have the block, I have the charger now. If it's submerged in the fluid, if it's displacing enough pressure, the pressure from the water is greater than the pressure it is giving, because it's displaced it, therefore it is able to float. That's why you get such huge ships that are able to float on the water, because the displacement of that pressure, of that force, physical force. Oh my word, weird. Don't need G for buoyancy. Very simple stuff, guys. It's sad that they have to teach Why does Archimedes' principle ignore gravity? Does Archimedes ignore principle work in absence of gravity? Yes, definitely, because like I showed you, it doesn't need it. Archimedes' principle actually has nothing to do with force. Sorry guys, give me 2 seconds. I just want to unplug the box. Okay. Has nothing to do with force. Quite simply, our hero discovered that when a body is immersed in an impressible fluid, it displaces its own volume of fluid. This is true in zero gravity. This is actually quite a contradictory term. The naked scientists. That's a funny one. Okay. Does Archimedes work in absence of gravitational force or space? Oh, they're saying in absence of. So in other words, they're saying if we take it away, like in 0G. Probably could not envisage an environment where both water and boat would float in air. Archimedes' principle is an application of a more general principle that systems seek the lowest energy state, all other things being equal. On the Earth's surface, a boat partially sinking into the water is a lower energy state than either a boat floating above the water or a watertight boat completely submerged in the water. However, when the water and the boat are both in orbit, there is no energy difference between the boat floating above the water or totally submerged in it, ignoring surface tension. So there is no lower energy state in the Archimedes principle which could work. To create such an energy difference, you could spin the experiment so the centrifugal force substitutes for gravity. Remember, this is all just in the begging the question of having gravity and then not having gravity. So yeah, this isn't really doing anything. G was not created until over 1,400 years or something after Archimedes' principle, guys. So again, how did they build ships before Newton came along? Oh, I know how they did it, guys. I know how they did it based on the globe. They just didn't build ships. They didn't go fishing. They didn't travel. They did nothing, because if they did, it would just sink, because it required the G in the equation, so they knew how much they had to displace. That's about it. 1,900 years. Thank you, Cygnus. Yeah. So tell me again, guys. Yeah, pumice. Exactly, Michael Kahn. Pumice. Thank you. That was actually brilliant. Pumice. Blue Marble Science, I think it was, that got that wrong. Yeah. So, once again, pressure is a physical force exerted on a surface. So, what happens when you increase the surface? You spread the force out. You spread the pressure out. Now the water has a larger pressure force than the boat on it. Do you get it? It's got nothing to do with gravity. It's simply the displacement of the physical force. Because the boat is forcing itself onto the water. It's got density. It's heavier than the air. It's denser than the air, and it's going to simply be denser than the water. But now, because it displaces that pressure, it gets to be buoyant. It gets to float. Simple physics, guys. Yeah. Godzilla 37. Almost enjoy no real photos except the top of image supplied by space-related website. If the moon's light is reflected sunlight, there should be lots of real photos of that. We don't get it. Yeah, Arwen, Flatzoid gets it. It's very simple, Arwen. I mean, I don't understand how these guys don't get it. Hey, Moomin Rider, thank you for coming. Yeah, it's just that they're indoctrinated and they can't accept it. If any of you can come and explain to me how Archimedes did his Archimedes principle, and because it's the same as you guys saying he actually put in G way before Newton. So in other words, he discovered gravity, guys, not Newton. Is that what you guys are saying? Did I miss the first part? Where's the first part? From your source, the buoyant force is always opposed as gravity. Again, Mr. 42, gravity came in much later. Much later. They actually sailed ships and boats and stuff in the year before he was even there, by the way. He just came up with the reason why the principle works, Archimedes' principle. Well, the system of relative density is simple in nature, but the implications are trying. Yeah, it's very simple. The denser the substance, then well, it's got to do with the medium. So this is denser than the substance it's in, so it's going to sink or fall. Sink or fall. It's actually got a force, it's pressure forcing itself through the air because it cannot support it. It cannot displace the air. It's too dense. The air cannot support it. Now with water, it's a bonded thing. It's liquid. It's not like air that's non-bonded. Air can just move around freely in all directions. It's separate. Water is bonded. A liquid's bonded. That's why you can displace the pressure. A gas mole or whatever is simply just got that and it's just bouncing around everywhere constantly, so it's going to have the same surface area hitting that one molecule or whatever. Water is bonded, so the greater you go, the greater the surface area is for that pressure to be spread out. Again, pressure is a physical force exerted on a surface area. Physical force. Back to the polls, just to remind you guys. Is pressure a physical force? Yes, 25%. Unfortunately, this guy's no, 74%. Just shows your ignorance. Maybe not sure, 2%. Oh, well, now if it was an enclosing object filled with air, it would fall slower because of air resistant versus density constant. Yeah, that's why if you guys have a balloon filled with air, it falls slower than just not the normal balloon. Odd, hey? Because it's displacing more of that pressure. So it's taking longer to fall. Okay, let's get on to the video with Mr. Sensible. I think that's actually why. Okay, no, but before we do that, let's first show Mr. Sensible's popping balloon. Thank you, Mr. Sensible, for this, mage. This is really great stuff. Oh, did you see that pop? Was that a physical force that caused it to pop? Oh, it popped again. Yes, guys. Simple answer. Yes, yes, it was. Okay. Let's get on to it. Oh, man, I didn't show it. I thought I showed it. Nah. Okay, anyway, I showed Mr. Sensible's... I showed Mr. Sensible's video where he had the mage and the balloon popped, guys. Sorry about that. I thought it showed. Let's go on to his video.
Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at a video of Flatzoid's perspective while he watches a video from Scimandan. Watching a video of Flatzoid's perspective. Watching a video from Professor Dave.
Oh, and now we got Mr. Sensible watching a video from that too. And now I'm going to be watching that video too, guys. So sit back and enjoy.
I want to give massive thanks to all of my supporting members.
Yeah, all these supporting members. Thank you for supporting Mr. Sensible. And that reminds me, thank you to all my supporters that support me on this channel. If you haven't already, guys, just hit that like button and share, as it does help to get the show out to a further audience. Thank you, guys. Trilateration. Ooh, they don't like that word, guys. Nas, thank you for coming. No, you... it's busy loading again. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's actually weird. If you guys see... let's do a face palm. Am I creating a force on my face? A pressure? Yes, I am. It's a physical force. I'm physically forcing my hand to have pressure. That's what a facepalm is. Oh, thank you very much, Godzilla37. $5. Thank you. Why do globers have a hard time understanding density? I mean, it's the core of their very nature dense. That's very true. They are very dense in nature. Maybe that's why they don't understand.
Sounds very confusing.
Maybe that's why they don't understand Godzilla, because it's too dense.
That was a good one. That was actually a good one.
That's very good.
That was fun. That was good. That was quick. Was that God, was it?
Godzilla, yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna see if I can at least get this to... I want to get it to at least 480. Let's see if it can at least get to 480p, so it can show better. Gracious Golf. If P equals F, then P equals PA. No, Gracious. P equals F divided by over A. That's how it works. And F equals MA. Remember, a force required for mass to accelerate. That force is the pressure, the physical force, which accelerates that mass per area. Very simple stuff. Okay.
Flatzoid did a 2-hour stream unpicking a video that Scimandan did, that was unpicking a video that Flatzoid did, that was unpicking a video that Professor Dave did. Zoid, I can see right up your nose.
Thank you.
Just get on with it.
I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. Let's get going.
Yeah, let's get going.
Make sure it's showing. Yes, it is showing. Okay, guys. This is Scimandan, the most ridiculous response you will ever see from a flat earther.
Right, back to today's video, which, as I said at the start, is a flat earther's attempt at debunking Professor Dave. The flat earther in question is Flatzoid. Now, you may remember him from Flat Earth Fail 31, where he said he was going to make me look like an ignoramus. Of course, he did not.
And that's usually what flat earth, well, Scimandan does. He just makes a declaration and it's so, guys. I definitely showed you to be an ignoramus because you said we cannot show relative density. I explained it to you very simply. But it's fine, we're going to go through it again tonight.
Oh yes, relative density.
Yeah, actually I should relative density disequilibrium, because relative density is specific gravity on the globe. Sorry.
You didn't need to make him look like an idiot. I know you did, but you didn't need to. He did that himself, all by himself.
Yeah, I explained to him why the phone fell with his density. Because it was denser than air, the air could not support it. It is simple as that, because you're lifting it up, you're putting... Sorry, you're making getting a lot of feedback from you though.
From me?
Yeah, I think it's from you.
All right, I'll put my mic on silent now.
Okay, sharp. Thanks, man. Hey, Sean Hawkins, thank you for coming in. Let's go on with the show, guys.
Just because you say I did not, doesn't make it.
Zoid, happy for you to use all this video. Like, Mr. Sensible, thank you. You can use as much as my stuff as you want. I'm definitely not a guy to go and copyright people for my content. So, like I said, you can use it as you wish.
So it just means you're ignoring the evidence. Simply as that. Okay, let's go on.
Well, he sat down to try and debunk Professor Dave's video, The 10 Things That All Flat Earthers Say, that has amassed a whopping 5.7 million views.
Wow. Because it's got so much views, it's now brilliant, guys. No, it's because it's pushed to a lot more people. Because it's got a wider audience to watch it. Because he doesn't get shadow banned and censored like the rest of us. All happiness to him for having that big audience. I do not have anything against that. It just sucks that he has to try and debunk the wrong flat earth. You know, the same issue you guys have. You attack flat earth narrative based on controlled opposition.
No, Zoid. Myself, Dan, Fi, Professor Dave and all the others attacked Flat Earth based on the fact it has no supporting evidence. I think we better jump on in to the meat of your arguments.
No, it's simply as I put it, Mr. Sensible. You guys have, as I tried to explain it before, just like I tried to explain it there. Let's say this is the globe. And this is the flat earth. This is the globe. It has gravity and it has all those fantasy orbiting stuff, rubbish stuff that is based on the globe. This flat earth is not floating in space, does not require gravity, does not require your belief in orbiting satellites and planets and stuff, because it's not globe earth. You placing your rubbish fantasy like gravity onto the flat earth is not the same. You cannot, let's take Red Riding Hood and put the characters of Red Riding Hood with Winnie the Pooh. You see, they're two different stories. Now you can't make Winnie the Pooh say, oh, Red Riding Hood had a problem with the wolf here, so therefore Winnie the Pooh has the problem with the wolf. It's the same with the globe. You have your gravity, we do not have gravity because we do not need gravity. We don't need something to hold us from floating away in space. We don't need that rubbish. You get it? Globe separate from the flat earth. It's separate. It's actually very simple stuff, this, guys. Okay, let's carry on.
Community, most notably with this lengthy response to the Globe Busters. For about 2 months now, the comments section of that video has been a consistent hotbed of activity, with hundreds of flat earthers stopping by to share their opinions.
Wow, hundreds of flat earthers. Probably a lot of them are just sock accounts created to make it look that way, but yeah.
It seems Flatzoid is not a fan of the flat earth community as a whole.
Why would you put that in my mouth? I never said that. I just said it's so possible you guys create sock accounts to try and make flat earthers look stupid. You know, like the sock accounts you guys have trolling flat earth channels like mine? Yeah.
No, Zoid. We don't need to make sock accounts just to make flat earthers look stupid.
No, you guys create sock accounts to troll us. Hence why I have so much people in my comments like Zebra 1, Zebra 2, Zebra 3. I think it's all the way to Zebra 5. And we have so much different jack of all trades. We have Jim Smith, John Smith, Jib Smith. I got so much different sock. I mean, even Sean Hawkins has different sock accounts that come in. Yeah. Where do flat earthers have to keep creating sock accounts to go and troll accounts? Channels. I think you guys have the same problem, Michael. Hey, Michael, I think you also have the same problem where they keep sending new sock accounts to your channels.
Sock accounts, yeah. Dweebs hiding behind fake accounts, so they control you.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Sensible just said they don't do that.
Yes, they do it.
Yeah, it's like everywhere. Every flat earth channel says this, and they keep showing. Why do you think?
They could pull in this chat.
Yeah, why do they think we keep calling me like Sensoroid or someone else another name for panning?
If you've got a stupid name that's usually taking piss out of a flat earther, and you go to the channel and it was created last month, last week, this year, the sock accounts are not real.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's a complete waste of time to argue with somebody who can't come as a real person. He has to hide behind a fake account so he can say what he wants, and it doesn't matter whether he's right or wrong because it doesn't affect him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, they should be banned.
Okay, gonna move on.
Let's try and restructure that in another sentence. Without containment, you cannot have gas pressure.
So what's going on with the actual air around you then, Flatzoid? Because that's pressurised.
Do you know you just... Guys, this is what I'm saying he comes with his ignorance already. He's saying the atmo is pressurized, guys.
That's why I always loved this so much. Remember, the atmo is pressurized. Remember, what is pressure? It's a physical force, as we saw with the definition. So, is pressure a physical force? Yes. All the 74% that say no are the people that's trying to obfuscate, ignore reality. You know why you have to say that pressure is not a physical force, guys? Because that would be conceding that your atmosphere requires containment. Because it's a physical force. As far as we know, what does a physical force do? It causes acceleration. Gravity is not a force, so it can't cause acceleration. So if the gas pressure is a physical force, that means it forces itself. It's physically forcing itself against the container, hence why we have gas pressure. Ouch. So you guys can't actually concede that pressure is a physical force. But by definition, it's called a physical force. Uh-oh.
What is pressure again, Mr. Scimandan? Isn't pressure the force exerted on a container wall?
Gas pressure is the pressure exerted by the gas on the walls of its container or any other surface. This room, if we increased the pressure and made it 20 psi, what would be the pressure against my hand? It's not a wall of this container.
Yes, Mr. Sensible. Remember, you and your hand is in the same system. Remember, you're already in the contained system. Like this cup is a system. It's a closed system. I mean, an open system. It's open. Now, what happens if I put this charger inside there? It's inside the already contained system. Now I'm closing it. Has it still got the air pressure in there? Yes, it has. Has it got the same air pressure on the object in the system? Yes, it does, because it's already in the system. It's very simple. Okay, let's get back to the video.
Show us where this has been debunked several times, because as far as I know, even on my channel, I have asked this for quite a few years now. Where's the demonstration for gas pressure not requiring containment? Every flat earth has asked this, and we have not yet even had any other explanation other than gravity.
The air in this room is at 14.7 psi. The gas on my hand is at 14.7 psi with no container separating it. The problem comes if you want to have the gas on the hand being 15 psi surrounded by 14.7.
Yes, do you guys just hear that? He just conceded you require the containment to have the pressure. Your hand is with you in the already contained system. Remember, gas is the physical force. Pressure is the physical force. So, is there a physical force on your hand which gives that pressure reading? That would be the pressure physical force. It's hitting on you from all directions in the container. Uh-oh. I like the bald guy. He's great. Everyone sub to him. Yeah, you guys can sub to Mr. Sensible. I'm sure most of you already sub to him anyway. So I just hope Mr. Sensible will also shout me out then. How's that sound? Sound like a deal, Mr. Sensible? Shout your guys out to come and sub to me.
You then would need a container to maintain that differential.
And yes, pressure gradient, you nugget. Pressure gradient is the delta after. Sorry, pressure gradient comes after pressure. Pressure cannot exist without the antecedent of a container. That's what pressure is. It's the force exerted on the container wall, on the surface of the container wall. Remember, it's surface area.
Zoid, pressure is the force per unit area exerted on the walls of the container or any other surface.
Again, conceding the point. Surface. Do we have pressure? So we require a surface. I thought you guys said you do not need containment to have the pressure. But we have the pressure and you just conceded that you require the surface to have the pressure. What happens to open systems when you do have pressure? It dissipates all that gas pressure into the surrounding system. Hence why it needs to be closed. Even remember you said with your hand. you require it to be contained to keep that pressure. Uh-oh.
You require a surface to have surface area pressure.
Yes, surface, not a wall. A wall is not the requirement to experience pressure.
That's what a surface is. It's a surface wall, a container wall. Like I said, this is a surface wall. It contains the air for that split second it's hitting against it. It's got a pressure, a physical force to it, but it is already in the surrounding contained system. Do you get when you're saying, yes, you have pressure hitting the surface, you are conceding we have pressure in a contained system to give us the pressure to hit here. Because what happens with an open system? It dissipates into the surrounding system. We would not have any gas pressure, aka physical force, on Earth if it was an open system. Remember you said with your hand, you require a contained system to hold that change.
Very simple stuff.
Them verbatim without applying a shred of critical thinking. So now that I am intimately...
Without a shred of critical thinking. That's all the flat earth is, guys. It's critical thinking. It means we do not just take consensus, we actually go and have logical thinking. We critical think. Hence why we don't believe in the globe. Hence why we can prove the globe is not true. Because it goes against critical thinking. It goes against reality.
As I said, everyone, Dunning-Kruger.
See what I mean? That's his response, guys. What rebuttal to that? I literally explained why we are the critical thinkers and they are not the critical thinkers. And he says Dunning-Kruger. That's his rebuttal. What rebuttal is that? You should actually go and explain why it's Dunning-Kruger, Mr. Daniel, but you have not.
And Dan is absolutely right. Just think, seasons, eclipses, celestial navigation, stellar rotation, horizon drop, orbital mechanics, gravity, buoyancy, maps, and 1,001 other things that the globe supports and can evidence, and that Flat Earth has no explanation and evidence.
Remember in the beginning I showed you globe, flat earth. Globe has gravity and all that nonsense. Flat earth does not have that nonsense because it doesn't require it. You putting your gravity and nonsense onto flat earth is the same as putting Red Riding Hood's wolf into Winnie the Pooh story. You get the problem. It's got nothing to do with one another. And I would love to see your evidence for all the stuff you just said though, because it gets debunked daily, remember?
I just told you the reason we are the logical thinkers is because we are not just following what we are conditioned to think. You are indoctrinated to believe the globe and everything about it, faith-based religion. We have found it to be false. Therefore, we are the logical thinkers because we are showing it wrong and giving you guys the reason why.
Mundo.com makes games.
Yeah, Mundo.com, it makes games. Sorry guys, adverts. I still gotta look at Brave. They said I must look at Brave. Maybe it's going to help with adverts. I just keep forgetting. Owen, you lost it yesterday and you were wrong. You need to examine your behavior. Why would anyone be surprised about a flat earther that does not accept science? Where's the science, Professor Fulbell? You first need science to be able to present, to ask us to actually accept it. Very simple stuff. Okay, come on advert, you can pass by. An open system with pressure. Yes, an open system has pressure. Every system in reality has pressure. Nature abhors a vacuum, if you forgot about that. Okay, now why is it taking so long for this advert? Anyway, come on. I don't know why it's taking so long now, guys. Sorry about this. There we go. Skip ads.
Number one extremely problematic side effect of taking the globe and flattening it out into a plane is that gravity makes no sense, and there is no reason for things to fall to the ground.
Sorry, flat earthers never ever say that.
No, they don't, because otherwise they'd be arguing with themselves. He's addressing gravity. Give him a chance.
Scimandan, same issue Dave had. Gravity is for the globe. It's not for the flat earth. Why do you bring gravity, the issues of gravity, to flat earth? Two different models, you understand?
Zoe, do you even know why flat earthers originally started denying gravity? Because I bet you don't. There are two reasons. One, if the earth was a flat disk with gravitational forces, it would collapse into a ball.
One, it's not, again, a flat disk floating in space. It has nothing to do with gravity. You understand? You're putting gravity, a globe belief narrative, onto the flat earth. So now you're trying to make problems from the gravity on the globe to flat earth. Do you not get it's two separate models? No gravity required on a flat earth because we do not need it. We won't be flying off into space. Do you get the problem? You placing your belief of gravity from a globe, aka Red Riding Hood's wolf, onto Winnie the Pooh, two different stories. It doesn't make sense. I do not need gravity on flat earth, so why would you create a problem to have it or not to have it on a flat earth? It's very, 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 very simple, guys.
Two, if Earth was a flat disk with gravity as you went towards the...
Again, it doesn't have gravity. Gravity doesn't exist. Mr. Khan, are you understanding what I just said? You agree with me?
Yeah, of course I agree with you.
I mean, think about it. Why are they placing gravity onto the flat earth and then giving problems why gravity doesn't work on a flat earth? It's got nothing to do with gravity.
It's just cheap tactics, isn't it?
I mean, why? It's idiotic. I mean, we don't go to the globe and say, your globe is stationary, because if it wasn't stationary, this would be the problem. No, because the globe is said to be rotating. That's their narrative. The flat earth is said not to have gravity. So why would they create problems based on gravity when it's not even placed in that model?
Because they just want to gear your flat earth and say it's like this so that you argue with them. I mean, it's just stupid strawman tactics.
Mm-hmm. It's actually that simple.
Quite feeble.
Yeah, they believe they can make, let's see what Alwyn says. They believe they can make the globe earth into reality and that it's the problem. If you cannot compartmentalize your globe and the real world law that you obtain cognitive dissonance with consequences. Yep. Guys, Mr. Sensible is moaning that you guys are blocking him the whole time.
It weren't me.
Can we maybe just leave Mr. Sensible at least till the end of the stream, guys? Do appreciate you coming in, Mr. Sensible. Sorry about that.
The edge of the disc, you would have to lean over more and more and more because the gravitational pull is towards the centre.
Yeah, again, Gravitation is not flat Earth, so no problem for the flat Earth. It has nothing to do with the flat Earth. That's why we say you guys use flat Earth society controlled opposition, which requires the acceleration through space, which is not flat Earth.
It doesn't work with a flat Earth, so therefore you guys have to deny it.
Let's say this is the globe model, this is the flat Earth. This one has the bullshit gravity. This one doesn't require gravity, it's got nothing to do with it. This one is reality, the one you are trying to debunk. Why are you putting this one's gravity to this? The problems you have on your globe has got nothing to do with the flat Earth. Do you see the issue? Why do we have to fix the problems you have on the globe just because we call flat Earth?
This is why, Zoid, you need an explanation for this.
No, we don't need an explanation for that. That is you guys having a belief of gravity. We, on the flat Earth, have relative density disequilibrium. It's got nothing to do with gravity, remember? And we've explained why it works. Because the acceleration is caused by the physical force called pressure. Because it's pressure mediation, the relative density disequilibrium. When something is out of its equilibrium point, relative equilibrium point, it has a pressure differential. You just creating more energy when picking it up. That's all.
This is a globe strawman argument. Nothing to do with flat Earth, by the way.
Well, it is, because without gravity, how do flat earthers explain how things fall?
Very simple. Relative density disequilibrium. We've explained this how many times?
Ah yes, relative density disequilibrium, which apparently explains why this tennis ball will fall when we let go of it, because it is denser than the surrounding medium, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
What you haven't ever been able to explain is why down. Density is not a vector.
No. Relative density, aka your specific gravity, is based on your globe, remember? That is not a vector, that is scalar. That is based on the globe. Let's see. Again, globe model, gravity. Your relative density, specific gravity. Flat Earth, relative density disequilibrium. How does this work? Simple. Supported by my hand. The pressure of my hand is greater than the pressure exerted by this charger. When I lift it up, I'm imparting potential energy into this system, into this charger. No, remember, flat Earth, not globe. No gravity associated with potential energy. Pressure. Archimedes' principle, remember, came long before gravity was even a thing. And they had ships that worked because of displacement. This is how it works. The energy picked up. What happens? We all know you cannot create or destroy energy. First law of thermodynamics. You can only transfer it. So what happens when I let it go? I am transferring that energy into kinetic energy and it's transferring into the surrounding system. When it falls, what happens? Or sinks, it's releasing that potential energy, becoming kinetic energy, therefore has a greater pressure than the surrounding medium and goes. You said, now why is it not going up? Well, remember, I picked it up, I placed energy into the system. If I let it go and you expect it to go up, you are saying it is putting more energy into the system. Understand? It's the same as taking a rubber band and pulling the rubber band. You are placing energy into that system. If you let it go, why would you expect it to carry on going further? It won't. It goes back because you placed energy into the system. Simple as that. Okay, let's carry on. Remember, no gravity required. It's flat Earth. Gravity is only for the globe. Let's see. Relative density disequilibrium force was already there, expressed was a little extra weight onto your hand, because as long as it is not moving freely, its pressure is in relation to the medium. Exactly, Owen. That's as simple as that. I mean, I've been trying to explain this in such simple terms to these people for quite a while now, and I think that's getting it as simple as I can. Would you guys want to do a Q&A session or something?
Again,
let me know.
Gravity has nothing to
I would say that's well explained by Arwen now. That was a very good description of what we were trying to say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's very simple stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, well described, man. That was good. That was good.
And the thing, because things fall, doesn't mean we have to replace gravity on your globe.
Yes, Flatzoid, it does. To be a successful model, the flat Earth model needs to explain all the observations that we make.
We just did explain relative density disequilibrium. Remember, you guys placing your ball, your globe to flat Earth, we do not have to replace anything of your belief of your globe. Globe and flat Earth are separate. You understand? Because you have a belief and think that's how it works, does not mean I need to make a replacement of your religion.
The globe, with gravity, does. Flat Earth needs to explain it too.
No, we don't. I don't need to explain anything. I just explained to you why relative density disequilibrium works and why Archimedes' principle is relative density disequilibrium in action. You guys having gravity, which you can't define, don't even understand that it's not a force and cannot even cause acceleration, is not our problem. You don't have to try and place it onto the flat Earth. That has got nothing to do with the globe. Your globe physics, mumbo jumbo, which is not even really physics, it's pseudoscience belief, is just that. We don't need to explain it on a flat Earth because it's two different things, two different stories.
Objects accelerate towards the ground at 9.8 meters per second squared. That's an indisputable fact.
Yes, and it's indisputable fact that we can prove its relative density disequilibrium.
Oh my days, not this rubbish again. Flatzoid. You cannot prove that. You just can't.
Can't we prove that? Okay guys, let's move to another video. I actually went and did a demonstration, Mr. Scimandan. This is a demonstration where I actually explain it in very simple terms. You know, we can actually do demonstrations. Can you do demonstrations? See, this is just a normal flask, well, container, plastic container with some water, tap water, so normal H2O. This is a plastic block, okay? I'm just gonna first empty it out because I put some money in there, some coins, so it can give it some weight. This block has density to it.
Well, it's...
Sorry, Sean Hawkins. The Flatzoid method of debate is almost adorable. Everything you present automatically debunks you. And how does it debunk me exactly, Sean Hawkins? Because I explain it.
Sounds like
yeah?
Sounds like pot calling kettle black again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I explain a thing, I demonstrate what I explain, and I explain it again in a different way with more demonstrations. And somehow it's debunking me. How does that work? I mean, if you explain something how it's going to work and this is what's going to happen, and you do it and that's what happens, that's validating argument, not debunking argument. These guys are, I don't know. Let's carry on.
assume that your block is 5 centimetres along each side. So it's 5 by 5 by 5, 25 cubic centimetres. And let's say that it weighs 5 grams. Density is mass divided by volume.
Guys, I want you to listen very carefully here, because this is one of the main reasons I wanted to show this video. Please pay attention, guys, because I always get the same arguments from the anti-flat earth side. Density, you cannot change density.
Which means that the density of that block as a system is 0.2 grams per cubic centimetre. Note, that doesn't tell you anything about any directions. It's the amount of mass divided by that volume.
The density. So you know if it's denser than the surrounding
And
medium.
that is all.
You know the direction, the vector. Remember, you're taking the density of the block and the density of the medium it's in. You would know the vector. The one that's denser is going to go down. Hence, it cannot displace the pressure enough for the to be supported.
What? Hey.
Hey, again an advert. How sad. Okay, let's go on.
What happens when I put this block into water?
It gets wet.
Huh. One
Yeah,
of them
it gets
has
wet.
to be less dense.
I actually have a question for you, Mr. Sensible. I placed that block in there. Does water make you wet? Is water wet? Let's put it that way. Is water wet, Mr. Sensible? Zoid, Blue Marble Science has been blocked now. I think he was blocked in the beginning of the stream already. Sorry, Mr. Sensible. Yeah.
I would say that water's not wet. I would say that water wets things, but I wouldn't say water's wet itself.
Exactly, it's the saturation that makes a person wet, not water itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What do you know? It floats. So this plastic block is less dense than the water it's in. Obviously, you can also say, okay, even if it's a bit denser, it's maybe displacing the water around it, and that's why it's floating.
Zoid, this isn't difficult. That block weighs 5 grams. So it will push 5 grams worth of water out the way, which
Displacement, guys.
will be 5 cubic centimetres. The block is 25 cubic centimetres. Therefore, some of it remains above the water. It floats.
Was gravity involved, guys? No.
So, you see, it is less
Buoyancy, guys. Archimedes principle without gravity.
dense than the medium it is surrounded in. More dense than the air, so the air cannot support it, so that's why it drops, and it's less dense than the water, so the water can support it.
We have that block.
Sean Hawkins, water is wet because it's polar. No, water is not wet, Sean Hawkins.
What does that even mean?
Huh?
What does that even mean? Water's not wet because it's polar. What? Water's wet because it's polar. Wow.
What is
I don't get that at
wet? What
all.
is wet in the sense of being liquid which flows easily because its viscosity is low. It's because the molecules are rather loosely joined together. It's literally saturation that way makes you, not water. No question, what is wet? What else can be wet? The definition of wet is covered by saturated liquid. And water isn't always a liquid. It can be a solid. There we go. So it's not wet. It's the saturation that is wet. Man. Mr. Obvious. This is why I laugh at Sean Hawkins, guys. Water doesn't make you wet. It's the saturation that makes you wet, Sean.
Weighing 5 grams, being pulled down. That block is displacing water. Water to the same mass of 5 grams, providing an opposing balanced force, the buoyant force.
Yes, without gravity. Thank you very much. Relative density is equilibrium, Archimedes principle, buoyancy without G.
They are equal, so it floats.
What happens now if I'm going to make this object dense?
Zoid, gonna have to go. I got a stream. Mob also blocked you on by your mods. Control them, especially Khan, who insults and threatens. Okay, Mr. S, thank you for coming. Glad you could make it. Looking forward to our debate sometime next week. Yeah, cheers, man. Bye. So why doesn't a lily pad get wet, Sean Hawkins? Because of tension. That's it. Surface tension. That's why it floats above the water, Sean Hawkins. I don't know what his problem is, but yeah. Now it's loading again.
Denser. You ask me now, how are you going to make it denser? Because density is already set. It's per cube. Exactly. But you can make the system denser than the medium. So you're adding more weight. Remember, keyword, guys, into the system. Keyword, system. I'm opening it. System, guys, is the keyword. I'm opening it, you see?
System.
Yes, I have no problem with that. You're adding mass into the same volume, thus increasing its density. It's the equivalent of
increasing its density. Remember when the guys usually bring up, oh, you put feathers on the one side and a weight on the other side? They're saying adding more feathers to make more weight is not adding the density of the system. He just debunked you guys. Thank you, Mr. Sensible. Thank you.
Of loading more and more cargo into a ship.
I'm going to be adding the coins. This gives it more weight. I'm making the object, the system, denser.
Yes, that's cool. Let's say that with your coins, the entire cube now weighs 30 grams. So its density is now 1.2.
Yes, Quinlan, that's right. But it doesn't mean water is wet. It doesn't mean water is what wets you. It's the saturation that makes you wet. Do you understand now, Quinlan? It's got nothing to do with it being polar.
Grams per cubic centimetre.
Remember, it floated a few seconds ago. What happens now? It's still denser than the air, so it's going to fall still, and now it's going to be denser than the water. Oh, is the water able to support it now? No, because the water is now less denser than the object. Remember, the density per cube is still the same, but the system is now denser.
No, the density is not the same. The cube is 25 cubic centimetres. It originally had a mass of 5 grams. It now has a mass of 30 grams. So
do you understand what you just did there, Mr. Sensible? You just said we can change the density of the cube, of that plastic block. No, we didn't change the density. It's still exactly the same density. We changed the density of the system by adding more weight into the system, not the block. The plastic is still exactly the same density. We just added more substance into the system, aka the coins, making it heavier. So again, no need for G, guys. Density is the reason we have weight, not G. Yeah, so tonight we are debunking Archimedes' principle needing G. We are debunking Archimedes' density requiring weight requiring gravity as well. Why do we even need G, guys? Is there such thing as G needed for anything actually?
the density was 0.2 grams per cubic centimetre. It is now 1.2 grams per cubic centimetre. That cube is displacing 25 cubic centimetres of water, weighing 25 grams. But the cube weighs 30 grams, so it wins. Gravity pulls it down.
No, gravity doesn't pull it down. It wins because it's more denser, as you said. It's not gravity pulling it down. Gravity can't do anything. Gravity is not a force. It cannot cause acceleration. Remember, more pressure. Pressure is a physical force. Mr. Sensible. So when it was now denser, it has a greater force. This is, remember, this point on the charger has a need of a less force than this point to be able to penetrate. You have to create more force than you would need for that to penetrate. Surface area, displacement of the force, of the pressure. It's a physical force. Gravity is not needed. Cheers, Mr. Sensible. Thank you for coming in. Really do appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully we can have that debate sometime early next week. Thank you very much. Let's get back to the video.
Because it can displace that water. Because 25 cubic centimetres weighing 30 grams gets pulled down harder than 25 cubic centimetres weighing 25 grams. This ain't rocket science.
No, it's not rocket science, definitely. But it's not pulling it down. The cube is forcing itself down, remember? Not being pulled down, it's forcing itself because it has got the greater pressure now. Physical force. It's got the greater pressure down. Very simple stuff.
This is why I was explaining, when you put something of more substance together in the system, you make the system denser. And I think that's made it very clear, don't you guys understand?
Oh yes, very clear.
Remember, it cannot displace the water anymore, because that's how Archimedes' principle works. And no, it does not require gravity, even though it's in the equation. Gravity is not a force.
Mr. Andrew RG, yeah, you can hit me up on Discord or on Gilded if you want to, or even my email if you want to, and we can talk about it. My email address is in the description below, so if you want to, you can always email and we can work out a date. Professor Phil Bell, can you make the downward acceleration disappear from the new flat Earth buoyant force formula? The downward acceleration is simply the pressure mediation. Remember, physical force, it's the pressure. It's got to do with the displacement of that pressure. Hence, Archimedes' principle. Explained it a few times now, Phil Bell. Very, very, very simple.
Zoid, I willingly admit that I'm not the best at math, but I know that you can't just throw one of the values away in an equation. The buoyant force equals rho GV, the density of the fluid times gravity times the volume displaced.
Remember I showed you guys earlier, Archimedes' principle in the year 200 and something, I think 64 BC. Gravity only came in 1674 or something. That's a big difference, guys. Yeah. How did they have boats using buoyancy without gravity 1,900 years earlier? Oh, wait. Simple answer. They didn't need it. Just like you don't need it today. Just because you guys added the G in, because you want to change the pressure to a downward acceleration, aka the force, which is, remember, pressure is a physical force. That's why you got it in your equation. This equation didn't exist when Archimedes was alive. But here's Archimedes' principle, and its buoyancy, buoyant force, is explained. It does not need gravity. It's simply the pressure. The physical force is the pressure, not G. G came in many years later.
Based. I don't know if you're screwing with my mind. I mean, all this stuff about me doing a video about you, doing a video about Scimandan, doing a video about you, doing a video about Professor Dave. I mean, is this some sort of inception?
Okay, yeah, guys. Thank you, Mr. Sensible, for this video. I really do appreciate it. But like I said, yeah, it drops a balloon and the balloon goes up. Why? Because the pressure around it is greater than the pressure the balloon is exerting on the medium. So it goes up. All got to do with pressure, guys. Pressure, deflection. As easy as that. Okay, so out of 165 votes, if pressure a physical force? Yes, 22%, no, 76%, maybe not sure, 1%. So yes, pressure is definitely a physical force. We saw definitions where they say pressure is a physical force. So Mr. Michael Kahn, what do you have to say?
Nothing.
I wonder if I should... I wonder, how do you start a Q&A? Oh, there, I can start a Q&A. Let's see. Let's see. Do you agree pressure is a physical force? I'm gonna do it like that now. Just gonna say start Q&A. So you guys gonna send a Q&A for do you agree that pressure is a physical force? Let's see what questions the guys come up with. I'll just go back to the questions to see if anybody does say anything there. But yeah, I think I've made it very clear. You do not require any gravity at all for buoyancy. You do not require it all for actually anything, because it's not a force, but it's just the hijacking of pressure. It's the hijacking of pressure being a force. Let's put it that way. Any questions? Still no questions. It's the first time I'm trying this questions thing though. If anybody's interested to actually come in and chat, do let me know. I'm going to stick the gilded.
Is Mr. Sensible using the same background as Scimandan?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Is he using the same background as Scimandan?
No, he doesn't.
He is? He is.
Does he?
No,
I didn't realise that.
Scimandan's background. With saving YouTube things on shelf and all. That's weird.
Specific gravity, exactly, Owen, it's just specific gravity. Specific gravity is relative density. That's why I just... What the... Sorry, my mouse batteries... And I did change the battery, but it looks like I put another flat battery here. I'm going to have to change it again. I think I'm going to... Let me just paste this in there. If anybody wants to come and chat, please do. What the? Okay. If anybody wants to come and chat, you're more than welcome to come into chat. I'm just going to change this battery quickly. Pendros, RDD is a joke. Is that so, Pendros? Do you want to actually come in and talk about it a bit in Discord or in...
It's a joke.
Yeah, it says relative density is a joke. But we can explain it, we got everything for it. Demonstrate it, we can show it's a force. But yet it's a joke apparently. Oh, that's better. Ha! Must keep the other battery just in case somewhere. So, Pendros, if it's a joke, would you want to come in and actually talk about it and show me why it's a joke? Okay, no one's actually sending questions yet. Do you agree pressures? Okay, I don't understand how this Q&A thing works. Arwen, learn some manners. Okay. Wow. That is really funny stuff. So nobody wants to come in and talk about pressure? So anyway, I can do some things. We can go to do some housekeeping if you guys really want to. Because I don't see anybody actually tackling it on Nathan Oakley's channel. If you guys haven't already, please do subscribe to Nathan Oakley.
Gravity's been brought up quite a lot tonight, so what about some scientific evidence for gravity?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, let's do that. Let's change the... I'm going to end the Q&A. Yeah, I'm just going to say, scientific evidence for gravity. Is there any scientific evidence for gravity, guys? Evidence for gravity. Okay, there we go. I put the Q&A in. Is there any scientific evidence for gravity, guys? Because remember, the globe is said to be scientifically validated, so there should be some kind of scientific evidence for it.
Come on, Phil Bell, time to shine.
One of these guys, come. There must be someone in here that wants to show us how scientifically the globe is. Thank you, Owen. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. I'm enjoying it. Is the globe scientifically validated?
Again.
Yeah, I just paused it. I didn't. Let's see. There we go. Is the globe scientifically validated? Scientists demonstrated the heat-trapping nature of carbon dioxide and other gases in the mid-19th century. Made many... Okay, it doesn't say validated instruments. Okay. Fighting the flat earth theory. Physics world. Ooh, this would be interesting. Hey, Jolly Man. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Mostly green, hey. Let's see. Physics world. Isn't this the one I did the other day? Oh no, this is another one. Remember I did the other one where I debunked the guys, these 5 arguments to debunk a flat earth. This is a different one. This is quite interesting. Let's see. Taken from July 2020 issue of Physics World. Remember, the Institute of Physics can enjoy the full issue of the Via Physics World app. Physicists will find it shocking, but there are plenty of people around the world who genuinely believe the earth is flat. Rachel Brazil explores why such views are increasingly taking hold and how the physics community should best respond. Okay? Let's see. In 2017, the US rapper B.O.B., the name Bobby Ray Simmons Jr., started a crowdfunding campaign to launch a satellite. The rapper, a vocal proponent of flat earth theory, wanted to seek evidence that our planet is a disk, not a globe. Just the point that he says it's a disk shows you he's part of controlled opposition, guys. Disk. Come on.
B.O.B. is.
Yeah. That's a shill, guys. That's part of flat earth society.
The flat earther wanted to put a satellite into space.
No stress, PJ. 100% agree. Thank you for being here anyway, dude. I really do appreciate you being here. But yeah, the disc and not a globe. His aim was to raise $200,000, later up to $1 million. Wow. Oh wait, before I forget, I actually almost forgot about this. I just Mr. 3DP asked me, he's got a GoFundMe campaign that he asked if I can shout out for him. It's a buy me a coffee. Copy message link. Oh no, sorry. If you guys can, please do. Anything will help. He wants to buy a LiDAR scanner. If 2.5 people donate 1 coffee, it's job done and the real world begins. He wants a LiDAR scanner so they can do some work to surveying and everything with the LiDAR scanner. So it will be really awesome stuff because he is busy with how can I put it? He's busy with modeling out the Earth on Blend and stuff. So if you guys would be able to help him out with us, it would be really great. Cavendish experiment is not an experiment, astronomy. Cavendish is a demonstration of torque. It's simply torsion twist based on torque because of the density of the weight. That's all it is. There's not even a LiDAR scanner. It will show the scanner. What? I will shove that scanner up his. That's not nice, Tony McFlatty. Why would you do that? Don't you want people to actually go and prove and measure the flat Earth, as you guys say? I thought they want us to measure the flat Earth so badly. Now people are asking for some funds to be able to do it. Now they are going against it. Isn't that a bit sad? But yeah, guys, please do, if you can, support him. Just buy him one coffee. I think it's like $1 or something for a coffee. Okay. Unfortunately, buy me coffee doesn't work in South Africa, so I can't even do anything there. But I did say I'll help and send him. Because the Earth is massive, scanner ain't going to help. Unless the mounts in airplane. No. I like how you now say all of a sudden it's too big. So in other words, Tony, you're already conceding that he would measure flat. Is that what you're saying? Because it's too massive, you can't really scan a curve. What happened to the curve of 3 miles away?
The thing is, flat Earth is massive, but globe Earth is tiny. 26,000 miles.
And it keeps changing.
So it's tiny.
And his radius keeps changing. Oh yeah, guys, Brian's logic was supposed to be on tonight, remember, and then he just couldn't make it, so that's why we're having this. But he is coming Friday, and hopefully Adam Meakin is going to join him. So that's going to be quite an interesting, fun presentation. So yeah, Thursday night is Russian Vids, RV Truth. Very excited about that. Then Friday night is awesome Brian's Logic, and hopefully Adam Meakin is going to join him. And then Saturday is just going to be me probably, and Sunday me again. And then next week it's going to be DP is actually going to bring a presentation which we're going to sort out, and also Mr. Sensible is probably going to have a debate with me, which is going to be quite awesome. So yeah, they already scanned the curvature of the Lake Pontchartrain. The Lake Pontchartrain doesn't have any curvature, Tony McFlatty. We've shown this time and time again. It's not even supposed to have curvature based on the radius. Does this guy even understand this? Man, really. So again, Tony McFlatty, it's showing that you don't want him to actually do it because you're scared of the results. And soundly, and his surveyor friend did it. You mean main surveyor? Or what Jesse Lazarski? I've already debunked why it looks so curved as well. It's called forced perspective. It's very easy to do that. We've been saying this for years. Lake Pontchartrain does not curve.
There's some little hump bits where cars go, they look like mountains. Cars are like going vertical up.
It's simply forced perspective, it's all it is. But yeah. Let's see, physicists might mock the notion of flat Earth, but the idea is gaining traction, particularly among people susceptible to other conspiracy theories. No, guys, there's so much people that do not believe any conspiracy theories that come to flat Earth, so don't bite it. And by the way, the only conspiracy theory here is the globe. They actually really do believe it, says Lee McIntyre, a philosopher from Boston University. A philosopher. So what's a philosopher got to do with telling people what's true and not true? Every globe defender is deadly afraid to test his own claims in real life. Afraid of what might find? Cowards. Exactly, Godzilla 37. That's exactly it. Yeah, Brian's logic. 706R keeps destroying the globe model. Flat is flat. That is what he's going to come and present. How there is no refraction on the globe. Terrestrial refraction is just you changing your radius. Ouch. So that's going to be quite interesting. If you guys really want to learn more of that, please do come by on Friday for that. For him and Adam Meakin have a great presentation about that. Okay. Ashley Lindrum, a psychologist from Texas Tech University who was also at the Dennis meeting agrees that flat earthers are genuine and not goofing around. If they were trolling, they are very good actors, she says. We talked to more than 90 members of the Flat Earth community, and they're all very sincere in their beliefs. Lectures at the Denver event included talking to your family and friends about Flat Earth, NASA, then other space lies, and 14 plus ways to the Bible says Earth is flat. Flat Earth has ideas are based on basic scientific misunderstanding and can be easily refuted for most people, even those who have no physics background. The evidence for the spherical Earth is obvious. So we ask ourselves, and the ideas still persist in the 21st century, perhaps more importantly, the physics community, how exactly should we respond? Where is the science? Have you guys seen any science in this citation yet? I don't see any science here yet. Yet they're saying it is scientifically. No, it's not that we're not understanding science or just misunderstanding it. You're not presenting science. Present the science so we can actually test it out, so we can actually go and do the experiment. But remember, shape is not science. Yes, exactly. Poor fairy tale believers. It's been destroyed 1,000 times over, 100%. Roman Conan, good to see you. Every global defender is afraid. Yep. What about every first year physics student that does the Cavendish? Again, the Cavendish is not an experiment. Where is the... Can you please give me the hypothesis for the Cavendish, please? Ronan Kinnan, name one thing that the globes have been destroyed. Wow. You on a channel where I have made videos upon videos upon videos upon videos demonstrating it to be wrong. How about going to Flat Earth debate and see how it's wrong? How about, yeah, all horizontals are parallel. There, done. How about plumb requires horizontal? How about elevation angle requires a 90 degree from a horizontal? How about every three-dimensional measurement, optical, is based over horizontal? We live in 3 dimensions, we make optical measurements, and it's based over horizontal. There we go. Should we go on? Yes, they are fools. I just explained to you tonight, thanks to Mr. Sensible validating it also, you do not require gravity to have buoyancy. You do not require gravity for anything because, remember, pressure is a physical force. Bob understands science is terrible as boltards. Bob's not one of the best guys for science. But anyway, guys, like I said, where's the science presented? Let's see if they're going to actually present science here. A circular history. The idea that the Earth is a sphere was all but settled in ancient Greek philosophers such as Aristotle, who obtained empirical evidence after traveling to Egypt and seeing new constellation stars. Empirical evidence. Where empirical evidence for what? Because he traveled to Egypt and seeing new constellations of stars. That's not empirical evidence. That is correlation. You know correlation is not scientific. Causation is scientific, guys. Faciality. Flatzoid, how about no observation of any ground movement equals no earth turn? Yeah, that as well. Everything based on the globe is based on belief, faith. You mean besides from satellites, Ronan? Satellites, do you mean balloons? Do you mean ground-based? There's so much of Foucault pendulums. Foucault pendulums is not a scientific experiment either. Do you know a Foucault pendulum requires energy to make it move? Yes. It's supposed to be moving, but it cannot move without you putting energy into the system. So let's see if they're actually going to bring any science into this. Starting in the 3rd century, became the first person to calculate the circumference of Earth. Okay, he calculated the circumference of Earth. So he didn't measure it, guys, he calculated. Remember, difference between calculation and measured. Islamic scholars made further advanced measuring about the 9th and 7th century AD onwards, while European navigators circled the Earth in the 16th century. Images of space were final proof. No, there were no images from space. They are images, but they are not from a second law of thermodynamic violation called space. And still no science. And yes, you can circle navigate on a flat earth too. Heck, I can circle navigate my house if I wanted to. You can circle navigate the pool if you wanted to. Okay, let's go. The International Flat Earth Research Society. What the hell is that? Is that the Flat Earth Society, guys? Yep. Set up in 1956 by Samuelson. Again, you guys are showing Flat Earth Society, controlled opposition. Why would you use the controlled opposition if you're trying to prove otherwise? Okay, so Flat Earth Society, I still don't see any. Guys, stop me when you see any hypothesis and experiment, any science here at all, okay? I don't see anything yet. Talk about conspiracy theories, philosophy, authority shapes our belief. Flat earthers seem to have a very low standard of evidence. Wow. No. We're the ones that actually have a very high standard of evidence. The reason why we are not globers anymore. Have you guys realized that? The only ones that have a very low standard of evidence is the globe people. Because you guys go, this guy, he said it so therefore it is. That's not how we are. Our evidence is much more strict than that. We actually go against the consensus, so it's much more strict. How can I put it? Strict than what you guys are presenting. You guys say, I see a hurricane. I understand that the storms move because the wind pushes it and the pressure system's there for vortex. But it's because of the earth turning. You understand what I'm saying? Or I see things falling. You require gravity, but it's not a force, but you require a force to have acceleration, but it's not a force, but I accept it. Or how about, like I said tonight, Archimedes' principle, ships were working thousands of years before Newton even came along and proposed gravity, yet we had ships sailing the seas before then, conquering new lands. Where was gravity then? Now we say proving Earth isn't flat, okay? Oh, there's a focal pendulum. Yeah, guys, you know brass is, by the way, magnetic. Yeah. And how is the magnetic field laid on Earth? Maybe you haven't thought of that one. Do you think that a magnetic field cannot do anything to that brass? Idiotic. Why distant skyscrapers are visible despite the curvature of Earth? That alone should be a red flag to you guys. You guys answer? Refraction. No, guys. There's no such thing as refraction on your globe. This is bullshit. This is nonsense. This is not how it works in real life, guys. It doesn't physically move everything up. If it moves the horizon and the object up, it will look exactly the same as it does there, just higher up. This is not what we see. This is what I love about that new black swan that was so awesome, that I was showing the other time. Because the horizon was behind, even though it was blocked by the so-called earth curve. How do you be blocked by the earth curve and have the horizon behind it? It's impossible. A magnet does nothing to brass. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought brass is magnetic. I concede there. Thank you, W65. I really thought brass is magnetic. That's odd. So I do concede there, guys. See? Tell me again how I do not concede things. Yeah. Will a magnet stick to brass or bronze? Copper is not magnetic. Brass is a mixture alloy of copper and mostly zinc. Zinc is not magnetic. Bronze is a mixture of alloy, mostly copper, and sometimes small amounts of nickel. Nickel can make it very slightly magnetic, but generally bronze is not magnetic. Let's just see. Foucault.
I think a magnet sticks to grass, but I think there's evidence that magnets encourage plants and grass to grow quicker or something like that.
Because that makes, I want to find out what is the composition of the brass Foucault's pendulum. Support wire plus iron ball is attached to the building. The building is attached to the planet Earth, which rotates on its own axis once every 24 hours. The Earth, it goes around the Sun once every year. The Sun, it turns around to the center of the galaxy, Milky Way. Okay. Local motions. The focal pendulum somehow ignores all these local motions. The focal pendulum somehow aligns itself with the rest of the universe. What? Okay. But it's saying now it's the focal pendulum support wire plus iron ball. Iron is definitely magnetic. That's for sure. All iron balls in single row are attracted by the magnet, and the plastic box is saying, yeah, iron is definitely magnetic, but I think most of them are brass. So magnetic sucker subsystem. This is the boxes. Is this the? Not understanding what are you talking about, Cavendish? What? Brass, like aluminium, brass isn't magnetic under normal circumstances, but it interacts with moving magnets. Here's Lenz's law comes into play again. Ah, that's quite. That might be why I was thinking it's brass is magnetic. Foucault's pendulum, brass is magnetic. Let's see if it picks up something about that. Magnetic monitoring of a small Foucault pendulum. Three-axis magnetometer is used to measure the precession angle of a small Foucault pendulum at the length. Okay. Swinging brass bob contains a small neodymium magnet to detect and sustain its motion. So it's the magnet that's keeping the motion, guys. So that tells me it is magnetic because it's literally got a neodymium magnet to keep it moving. So it's magnetic, guys. It's forcing it to to keep it in its plane it's supposed to go. So the precession is based on magnetism then. Is that what I'm reading here? Andrew, what causes the focal pendulum to precess? Magnetic field. There we go. It says here. The precession angle for each pendulum period. Its magnet is used to control the electronics that drive the pendulum by sampling the time-dependent magnetic field from the swinging bob. These data are used to calculate the precession angle for each pendulum period. Long-term studies demonstrate the precession rate of data, which is within 0.5 of that expected for the latitude of that experiment. Considerable short-term variation in the precession rate observed, which is correlated with the structure of the pendulum mechanics. The angle measurement noise is found to be within able to clear detection of Earth's rotation with only 26.7 of, but they're just saying it's based on the magnetic. So I don't understand that. Earth's rotation causes precession. No, WC, what we're seeing here, it's the magnetic field that causes it. Yes, the motor on top, Godzilla. The motor on top is keeping it moving. And that motor that's keeping it moving is the motor that's keeping it precessing. That's what causing it to precess. It literally says here, used to calculate the precession angle from the pendulum period. Because
it's a forced effect, isn't it?
Yeah, they're forcing it.
Natural.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're literally forcing it. It's saying it here in your face. So that's what causes WC5, that's what it says here. A microcontroller is used to control the electronics that drives the pendulum while sampling time-dependent magnetic field from the swinging bob. These data are used...
If you read up on original one that they did,
yeah,
they had all kinds of problems where it went wrong way, that's why they have to have this motor thing on it.
And to keep it moving, because it loses energy and it can't carry on moving.
And they're kind of using it in the same medium that gravity's allegedly working anyway, which makes no sense, and it's attached to the earth.
Yeah, look here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, what keeps the focal pendulum moving? To keep the focal pendulum going, one must replace the energy lost with each swing. This can be done by giving the pendulum a little kick with each swing. To do this, 2 iron collars are attached to the cable near the top. Let's read this. This should be interesting.
Cool.
The focal pendulum, which was displayed for many years in the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History, was removed in the late 1988. To make room for the Star Spangled Banner Preservation Project, there is no current plans to reinstall it. The focal pendulum is named for the French physicist Jean Foucault, pronounced Foucault, who first used in 1851 to demonstrate the rotation of the Earth. It was the first satisfactory demonstration of the Earth's rotation using laboratory apparatus rather than astronomical observation. So remember, the first is always astronomical observation. You look at the sky, you see it moving, therefore you had a belief it's the Earth moving. So this was the first plan to show it was the Earth moving. Anyway, if you start the focal pendulum swinging in one direction, after a few hours you will notice that the swinging is quite different direction. How did this happen? Imagine you're in a museum located at the North Pole, and the museum has a focal pendulum suspended from the ceiling at a point exactly over the pole. When you set the pendulum swinging, it will continue to swing in the same direction unless it is pushed or pulled in some other direction. Now what gives that push or pull in the other direction, guys? I wonder. This would be especially clear if one marked the position of the line in swing in the morning and they had the pendulum knocking down pegs arranged in a ring at the center. However, if you are standing on the floor of a building housing a pendulum which is connected to the Earth, by the way, that building is also connected to the Earth, guys, if you haven't realized that. You will naturally think that the floor is stable and the pendulum is moving. This is because we naturally assume that the base on which we stand is stable unless our eyes' sense of balance tells us otherwise. If a train or airplane that begins to move very slowly and smoothly, and for a split second you think that the nearby car, train, or even building seems to move, thus, after thinking for a while about the total situation, you might be willing to agree that you are seeing a real demonstration of the Earth rotating under the pendulum, and that the line of swing and pendulum just appears to rotate. Okay? At the North Pole, the apparent rotation would be a full circle 360 degrees each 24 hours a day, or about 15 degrees an hour. This case fairly simple because here the Earth and the pendulum are not exerting much influence on each other. As you move off the North Pole down the more southerly point like Washington, for example, the Earth not only rotates under the pendulum, but it carries Washington, the building, and the pendulum in a great circle about its axis. That is, the motion of Earth is now mixed in a complicated way with the motion of a pendulum. As you can prove if you watch the pendulum for a while, the effect of the slowed down to apparent rotation to the swing, instead of seeing the rotate 15 degrees an hour, about 1 to 24th of a circle, full circle, in 1 hour. It only changes about 9 degrees. The further south you go, the slower the apparent rotation gets, and the equator there is no rotation at all. Below the equator, the apparent rotation begins again, but the opposite direction. Any pendulum consists of a cable, of wire, string, and a bob. For the pendulum to easily demonstrate the focal effect, it would have as long as a cable as possible. This would be 52 feet, and a heavy symmetrical bob. This one is hollow brass, weighing about 240 pounds. Like all pendulums, this one loses a bit of energy with each swing due to friction from the air currents and vibrations in the cable and other factors. Thus, left to itself, the pendulum would swing in shorter and shorter arcs until every few hours it will decrease almost to zero. To keep the focal pendulum going, one must replace the energy lost with each swing. This can be done by giving the pendulum a little kick with each swing. Weird. Where'd I have to give the thing a kick? To do this, 2 iron collars are attached to the cable near the top. This is the donut-shaped electromagnetic built in the ceiling, and the iron collar swings back and forth inside the hole of the donut. Inside the hole of the donut. Really weird. It's almost like they are inducing the swing with magnets, you know? It's like taking a string and doing this, and me doing this is inducing the swing. Now, if I'm doing this, can I not change its rotation? Uh-oh. Thank you, Godzilla. Thank you for the super sticker. Really do appreciate it, dude. You rock. Yeah, drop the mic. I love that. Drop the mic. Really awesome stuff. What did RH? Focal pendulums. Thank you, Godzilla 37. $2 super chat. Awesome. A pair dropping a mic says it all. Yes, you're right. It's a pair. I didn't realize that. A pair dropping a mic. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the pair dropper. Thank you for that. Really do appreciate the super chat. Now I get it. The pair dropping a mic. That does say it all. Okay. So, kick in the direction. Keep the earth rotating. Some people have built their own pendulums. You don't need a ceiling 50 feet high. If you're interested in building your own, you might like to go to our library and read 2 articles, Scientific and American magazine. An issue. Okay, let's see the photos. Wow. Amazing. Explain the South Pole pendulum. I don't know, I've never been to the South Pole, so I can't explain the South Pole pendulum. We're trying to work out why the pendulum does what it does, Andrew. This is what people do when they're in for truth, you know? But so far we're seeing it has to be induced to move, which is really odd, because that's not how it's supposed to happen. Scientific and American. Have you guys seen any science yet? I haven't seen any science from these guys. Okay. The world is close to meeting climate targets. Okay. I thought you could actually give us something on it. Probably not. Okay. What else does a Foucault pendulum have to tell us? Electrically propelled. Let's see. Foucault's pendulum electrically propelled. Ooh, there we go. Let's see. By Charles Forbes, Columbia. Why is it not going down? Oh. Can I not? Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. It's got the circuits opening and closing to show it's just moving it. Focal pendulum electronically propelled. Let's see. In the Scientific American of February 8th, 1908 was described Foucault's pendulum experiment demonstrating the Earth's actual rotation. Again, what experiment? It's a demonstration. It's a man-made demonstration, yeah, of a pendulum. Where is the experiment? Where's the hypothesis to even have the experiment? Okay, so anyway, let's go. Forbes St. Paul's Chapel at Columbia University. On account of the gradual dying out of the pendulum vibrations. Remember, the pendulum vibrates, guys. You know, oscillations. That causes it to deviate as well, because that's what it does. I wonder if I can try and explain it for you guys. Gotta find a string or something quickly. String. Okay, can't find a string, but this should work well enough to make my point. This is on a string. You see I'm going like this. It's working. You see it's going. It's actually oscillating as it's going. It's not a perfect. That's exactly how it goes, the pendulum. If it's swinging, it's still oscillating. This way and this way. Very fine, but you don't see it. You know what causes that oscillation? The movement here. This movement. The top. Now, that's magnetically on the focal pendulum, making it move like this. Do you get it? So while it's doing this, it's causing an oscillation, which causes it to rotate. So that oscillation causes rotation. Get it? Rotation. Now it's ever so slightly. Why? Why? Because of that oscillation. Because it's an induced movement. Hope that makes it simple for you guys to understand. Yeah, hover a hot air balloon for 12 hours. Do you think it ends up approximately 4,000? No, it does not. I actually did this for it took me like an hour to an hour and a half to get a balloon just to be suspended in a room. It was insane. I actually want to do it again sometime, but this time I want to see if I can do it in the garage or something, because it takes a lot of patience to get that balloon just to stay in one position, because it has a little bit of movements and oscillations as well. So yeah, it's not easy, but you can get it right. Okay, so it has the vibrating and the length of time. The apparatus is installed in a elevator in Burnett College, Columbia. Okay, yeah, it's literally just telling you it has to be created to move like that.
Dolan did a video on Foucault pendulum ages ago.
Yeah, it's simple as that. You realize you can do your own pendulum? Yes, I can do my own pendulum, but you do know the pendulums don't always work, Tony. They give sometimes different results. You know, sometimes they go the opposite way, sometimes they don't do anything. I mean, here in South Africa, I think we got 5 or 4 focal pendulums. Not one of them are in working at the moment.
Depends on which way they're manipulated, I suppose.
Exactly, that's what's got to do with that oscillation. That's what I was trying to explain now with
Absolutely.
that.
That's it.
How many focal pendulums in South Africa? A list of focal pendulums. Let's see. Wow.
We spoke about this not long ago, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Because I actually wanted to go and see some of these focal pendulums here in South Africa, and not one of them are in production or working at the moment. There we go. Guyani Science Center. This one is a funny one. Oh man.
That went to bad one that Mitchell went to, wasn't it?
I want to show you this. Focal. This is a joke, guys. Check at this. This is their focal pendulum. Wait, it's not showing here. Where is it? I saw the photo. Here it is. This is the Guyani focal pendulum. Man, where is it now? Come on. Images. This is the Guyani Science Center focal pendulum, guys. Really? Can I not even open it? Anyway, that's how it looks. No, that's so controlled. I mean, come on, it's definitely giving what you're supposed to see. That's the one. And no, it's not working anymore. Let's go to the next one. Department of Chemistry, University of Pretoria. Pendulum. Let's see that one.
Craig says he can find his exact location anywhere on Earth with a pendulum.
That's what they say, yeah. And then usually when they do the calculations, they are a bit off and they say, oh, but that's in the margin of error. It's like, you have the margin of error, but you can use it to get your I mean, really. Focal pendulum meant to swing. There we go. But never realized. This is the University of Pretoria. This is the one that's supposed to be showing. It never realized, guys. Let's read it like this will be much easier. The focal pendulum was meant to swing in the space, but was never realized. The technology is also unusual although the building was apparent. Yeah, I've been to this building. They actually created a spot for it and never put it up. Weird. Okay, so that's 2, and they don't work. Let's go to the next one, Grahamstown. You would think that something that proves Earth's rotation would always be up to show. Would it not? Okay. There we go. Natural Science Museum, the oldest organism established. Let's see what they say about there. The outcome depends on the latitude. The outcome changes, Quinlan. Same latitudes get different results. You guys should actually try it for yourself. You'll see you get different results. Does the museum allow you to learn more about natural history? The fire in 1941 destroyed the building and many of its exhibits constructed with supplies museum. Yeah, guys. So they don't have it on anymore because it burnt. So that's another one down the drain. Let's see. Let's go to another one. Stellenbosch. Focal pendulum.
Got to say, if there's margin of error, you're surely not going to arrive at your desired location.
Exactly. I mean, let's say you have a 1% margin of error. That 1% is enough to push you out far away from your place where you're supposed to be, is it not?
Oh, of course. Yeah, exactly. The longer distance you travel, the further away you've got to be, you know?
Yeah. I don't even know where the focal pendulum for Grahamstown is, guys. It's not even giving me anything for it. Very odd. And you last one, let's go look at University of Natal. Focal pendulum. Okay, it's not Natal. No, Natal. Guys, it's not giving me anything. Excursions. There's a QK, the ZN, this is for the WhatsApp. But do they even have a focal pendulum up here? Where's their focal pendulum, guys? Do they have one? No. So tell me again, how are we supposed to actually go and visit any of these focal pendulums so we can find the truth out? Oh wait, you can't, because none of them actually exist. Do you guys have the same issue there by you guys?
Well, we were on about it, weren't we? I think there's one supposed to be in London. I think there were one somewhere maybe in Manchester, but it's hard to tell if it's still there or not. Have a look. I'm not going all the way to London just to look at the pendulum, and I know it was a lot of bunkum anyway.
But yeah, like I said, I actually wanted to go and even look if I can just go. I mean, I should be able to at least go visit one and see this, but how do you do it if none of them are actually there to do it? So maybe I should make my own Foucault pendulum for you guys so we can actually see if it works. Only difference is I'm not going to be able to put a magnetic propulsion onto it. I'm not going to do that. That's just stupid. So we'll do what the other guys do. They just hang it and then let it swing after burning the rope, and then just leave it for what? Until it runs out of energy, and then calculate their latitude based on that. But the problem is sometimes it goes the opposite way. Remember, it's based on the oscillations. This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Remember, when he burns the string, it's sitting like this. Burns the string so it can make the motion. It starts oscillating. While it's moving left, it's still oscillating. There's always oscillation on the rope, on this. There's tension, there's oscillation. That is what causes it to turn. That's what causes the vibration, guys. The precession. That's why sometimes you get precession, sometimes you don't, sometimes you get the opposite precession. Just like them with their little water swirls in different directions on the globe. It's sad, actually. I mean, how much times do we get this stuff here and we see them going in opposite directions right next to each other? Just, I've seen the time already. It's like 11:15 already. Are you guys ready to give this a night? I mean, tomorrow night's another night.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a really long stream as well, and I've had to bow out a couple of times for a phone call from the missus, and yeah, it's been a good stream, really long as well. I enjoyed that, really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I end the problem for you.
Yeah.
Jack keeps disappearing.
Oh yeah.
Keeps freezing.
Wow.
The weather's not good though, is it, Michael?
Always seems to happen.
The weather's terrible.
The disc, I'm using element this time. I'm wondering if they have an effect with it.
Yeah.
I must say you guys are clearer on element.
Really fast internet.
You guys are clearer on element.
I've had a few cut out, but in general it's been okay.
Yeah, you guys are definitely more clear on element, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I find element a lot clearer, to be honest. Definitely more so than get the Discord, and for certainly a lot more than Gilded for me anyway. Gilded hardly works for me.
Yeah, I got Gilded open for the people in Gilded, but yeah, most of the time it's just you guys that come in element and those that come in Discord.
Yeah. See, the poll earlier, I was kind of disappointed at the poll. I thought it would be more the same percentage, but the opposite way around. So I mean, I thought more people would have thought
I knew it's gonna be this way. Like I was saying, the whole crux of the argument. That's why I literally said, is pressure a physical force? They ignore that physical part because they just read pressure and force, so they ignore the physical part. So their bias knows, okay, if I'm gonna concede it to being a force, therefore I have to concede it requires containment for gas pressure to exist. So they automatically have it by saying they have to go against it. So by saying no, they're ignoring physics, that pressure is a physical force. And that's also what the hole that Mr. Sensible trapped himself into. And that's why he actually threw away his own globe model tonight when I showed you, because he conceded you require physical surface area to have that pressure.
Absolutely. That's funny.
And I mean,
that's good.
Yeah. Again, and one thing I literally have to drive through to these guys. Displacement, aka Archimedes principle, buoyancy, does not require G, does not require gravity. So when the people come and say, oh, but you require gravity, you tell them, okay, when was Archimedes born? When did the principle come out? When were people sailing? And when did your so-called gravity first come? Because that's the argument they give to you today. They're saying the ship builders and stuff, how do they build ships if they don't have the buoyancy equation? Well, how did they build ships those days without the buoyancy
That's right.
equation? It was based on pressure displacement. That's what it is. It's simply pressure displacement. And that Archimedes principle is validation for relative density disequilibrium.
Absolutely.
Because if they're saying Archimedes principle works, they're validating RDD. If they say RDD doesn't work, then they're throwing away Archimedes principle. In other words, throwing away their gravity buoyancy. Their gravity buoyancy is based on relative density disequilibrium.
Yeah.
That's it. It's as simple as that. So,
That's it. I mean, the whole debate of pressure. You'd think they'd get, the more would get it, wouldn't you? I mean, surely it doesn't seem like, it seems like quite a relatively simple thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He talks about.
I mean, I know rocket science ain't rocket science, but it ain't rocket science. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just got to explain this quickly. David W. He talks about potential energy, but he can't explain why it must be up, why it isn't sideways as well. David, I did explain it. Maybe you missed it. Go back and watch the stream. And why would you expect it to go sideways if you picked it up?
Is it even? I bet it's just a soccer camp. I haven't even had a look.
You never know.
It looks like one, and it sounds like one.
And no, I do not apparently know everything.
PJ, my YouTube's playing up. If you went into chat and click on three dots, you can go straight to his channel and have a look.
Say that again, dude.
Let's go look. I'm gonna go to channel. I'm gonna go to channel, guys. I'm gonna look quickly.
We'll just have a look, like, if he created him last year or something.
Okay.
This channel doesn't have any content. Let's see what it's about. Joined 2nd February 2022.
That's a soccer camp.
Yeah.
We'll have to make you going.
Oh wow, brilliant. And we get a lot of this. Very new accounts, got nothing, but they have everything to say. Okay, well guys, I'm gonna say night to everybody. If you haven't already, please just hit that like button and share. It really does help. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow night again, not to worry. Thank you again. So yeah, may the pressure be with you. God bless. Cheers guys. Oh yeah, might I actually do play the intro, hey? And the intro. Mm-hmm.